Oh, man. If you were watching the live stream, you just got to see 30 seconds of a little bit of a preview of our new show, More Than Cars. It's premiering in less than 2 weeks. But we have auto industry details, happiest workers to talk about, and Google AI snapshots.
Google AI. I can't wait till we get to that story because I have something to tell everyone about that they're gonna want to know about. So a LinkedIn post from a buddy that you're gonna want to go see. It's magical.
Oh man, I don't even know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna hear about it for the first time too. Well, good morning, Thursday. Full head of steam. My hat was backwards before the show started because I was like, I got in the zone at home this morning. You know, I start my day. I wake up around 5. I read. I eat breakfast. I start working around like I don't know, probably close to 6. And like I look up and it's like 8:30.
What?
I'm like, I'm supposed to be in the office right now. And the house ran out of propane too. So if you live in the country, you know what that's like. Like,
oh no.
Why isn't the stove going on? Why? Because it's still a little chilly up here at nighttime. Why isn't it? Isn't it warm in here?
We don't do that in the city. We don't do that.
No. Or even most of the suburbs. It's just even most of the suburbs don't do that. So I don't have that natural gas.
Oh, this is crazy. You want to hear something wild? This is only the second time I've been in this seat for the podcast in the last 2 weeks. What is even happening in my life?
Oh my gosh. Well, you're only going to have tomorrow. And then there's going to be another several days.
Flying on a jet plane. We're going to be in Vegas all week next week, crushing with some amazing people. I cannot wait to share the content and the conversations that we're going to have at Reuters.
Yes, we're going to be at the Reuters Automotive Retail event. We're moderating a main stage panel, co-moderating a main stage panel, then moderating side panels on our own. Then we're going to have our own workshop, which is what every dealer wishes their OEM knew, which if you have opinions on that, productive ones, please send them to us, crew@asodu.com. We would love to include those in our presentation. And we're doing a new podcast collaboration with Reuters called Amplify. And we already have like 20 to 25 really amazing high-level guests lined up for that show. And that's just by Tuesday. What are you up to?
What are you doing on Monday and Tuesday?
Oh, man. One day we'll look back and be like, how in the world did we do that? I think so.
Speaking of how in the world did we do that?
Whoa.
Stop.
Segue.
Time.
All right. As part of their twice yearly report, NADA's most recent report reveals an increase in new car inventory, but a decline in sales per dealership. The report also indicates varying market trends, hinting at potential improvements for 2023 and showing overall stable headcount growth. So it's a lot of information in this report, a lot. So we're going to give you like 4 or 5, many numbers. Patrick Manzi is an awesome economist. Actually, at a SodaCon, I was thinking about this when I was reading the story this morning. We need to get Patrick and Jonathan Smoke on at the same time.
Just line them up.
They probably would really appreciate the opportunity to just be together, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to work on that.
About numbers.
We're going to work on that.
Numbers, lots of graphs, lots of all that type of stuff.
Yeah. It'd be awesome. It'd be like watching a live stream of It's a Beautiful Mind, right? Like all the numbers are going to start floating through the sky.
You get them some whiteboards. It'll be magical.
Yes. We could. So back to the report. Here's some points.
Give them some data. Give them
some
stuff.
New vehicle inventory rose to 1.7 million in 2022, which is a 50% increase over 2021. Massive jump. The average number of new cars sold per dealership, however, dropped by 8.5%. So down to 819 from 895 in the previous year. Here's cool. Average per salesperson. I like this because it's like right on the ground level. Average sales per salesperson annually was 102 new and 137 for used.
Now I got a question here though. Okay, because
Seems high.
That's 19.9
seems high
vehicles per person.
But I don't know if that's
does
like
that include
independent. It can't.
Yes.
There's no way that can be a cumulative total because we know the average is 10 to 12.
The average apparently has risen at franchise dealerships. I was hearing stats around 16 for a while.
Okay.
I heard real stats.
But this is still closer to 20.
So that's still closer to 20. So it must include some level of independence, or maybe, or maybe it includes like, I mean, gosh, even your CarMax salespeople, like that's not the average there. So
right. And
I mean,
you think that stuff like that would drag the new average down. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's just say it's a little bit high to all of those teams out there looking at their teams going like, we got people selling 7 to 9 cars, or I'm a 7 to 9 car salesperson. Like the average is higher. There's opportunity out there. That's what's striking to me about those couple stats right there.
I mean, in our show, More Than Cars, by the way, we mentioned it's premiering in 2 weeks. You should be at the live stream, by the way.
You should definitely be in the live stream.
It's on the 24th.
May 24th, 1 Eastern.
So Amarie, who was one of the people we featured in that, he's at 27 after like 8 months in the business.
Yeah. Putting
so
in
there's
work.
Opportunity. If you don't think there's opportunity, we'll give Amarie a call. He'll give you a pep talk. So Chief Economist Patrick Manzi anticipates less market constraint in 23, like a lot of people. He's expecting inventory to grow slowly and reach 2.2 million units by the end of the year. He did say that in 2022, we all were a little more optimistic than what actually happened.
Right.
The comeback,
like inventory's going to come back. We're going to be good. Which, I mean, if you're like Stellantis dealership, 2021,
yeah. You remember when we're like, oh, by Q1, and then eventually they were like, we have no idea.
No, the funniest part was 2021 when the chip shortage hits and it's like May and everybody's don't worry. August,
by September,
inventory's back.
Got
September.
Fall festival, it's coming back.
Nope. Toyota's still like, 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Toyota was definitely the keenest to just tell you just slap you in the face with the truth and just move on from there. Average new car retail sales per sales price went up 9.2% in 2022. Oh, so high. Almost $46,000 average. Inflation, obviously inventory shortage, and total dealership revenue. Here we go. 49% new car sales, 38% used car sales, and the rest was service and parts. And our favorite part is the people. Our favorite part's the people, right?
Here we go.
And we're excited to know that the dealership family grew. We went from 1.06 million people employed by dealerships to 1.07. So for us, that's the more the merrier. It's kind of the opposite narrative of what's going on in every other industry.
Literally the rest of the world. If you're paying attention and you're outside the automotive industry and you're seeing all these layoffs, like automotive is growing.
Come this way.
Come on in. Come on in.
Got a place for you
some happy
right next
people
to us.
Because they're making money and they got great jobs. Speaking of happy people. Whoop, stop.
Segue.
I knew this was going to go really well together. Wall Street Journal article today. Workers are on a happiness high, according to a recent survey from the Conference Board, which reveals satisfaction in the job market rose to a 36-year high. Wow. Their credits a shift in work norms during the pandemic, particularly workplace flexibility, hybrid roles, credited for the happiness bump. It found that those who voluntarily switched jobs during the pandemic and those working in hybrid roles were amongst the happiest. Men still benchmarking happier overall than women with their jobs as it pertains to leave policies, bonus plans, promotions, communication, and organizational culture. But despite the high levels of job satisfaction, the concerns and anxiety are coming up about layoffs and uncertainty in the economy, which I think automotive has found your solution. If you're feeling anxious and you want to keep being happy, you need to come over here. The largest improvements are credited to work-life balance, basically. And so I think we've seen a lot of that in automotive in the last several years.
We have seen a lot of that.
A lot of focus on that.
How many people have you heard moving to 4-day work weeks for service or sales?
4-day work weeks, even like 39, the old 39-hour work week. And they're figuring it out. Now, everybody's not like that. There's no one size fits all.
And 39-hour work weeks selling 20 plus cars or
now
service.
That'll pencil, Kyle.
That'll pencil all day, every day. I talked to a few people at Furman Chevy in Tampa, Florida. Like they're 30 car salespeople working 35 hours a week.
Gosh.
But they put in the work. They go for it. They work hard every hour they're there.
And I'd be willing to bet there are great processes and great technology in place.
Absolutely.
Can't do that without those two.
Yep. But what we know is, and this is a really interesting thing, that the rise of hybrid roles is really important. Like this opportunity to kind of be in both spaces, recognizing that it's not just the remote only workers that are the most satisfied with their job, but that mix of in-person and the ability to work remotely. Yeah. So,
it's a tough one in auto, right?
A tough one in auto. In retail, that's very tough. But I think like figuring out where there maybe are roles in the dealership that can exhibit some of that. Maybe it's figuring out how people work in and amongst the dealership and where they can work and how they move about the space would give them access to kind of that like freedom, the mobility within a day. So thinking about that as like, how do we figure that out in the retail side of auto? Obviously on the industry partner side, it's a much more accessible place to be, to figure out what a hybrid where we get that in-person interaction and remote work kind of mix actually works out. So
So I mean, it's funny. Like one of the things that we hear is a lot of people pulling back on remote work, right? But I don't think the pullback is nearly as strong on hybrid work.
No, not at all.
3 days a week, come in 4 days a week in automotive. I mean, I think we've seen a lot of benefit in automotive vendors taking advantage of that flexibility. And I would argue that there's more availability of better, just better resources from the vendor community into automotive, because now companies are able to strategize on a remote basis.
So do we're like a 75% remote work only company. Only a small portion of our team actually goes into an office every day, and we just have the opportunity to grab all of these incredible people from multiple different states across the country and not have to be locked down to a single place. So there's definitely opportunities on both sides, right? Being in person or being fully remote. Hey, just make happy people.
Make happy people. Google made a lot of people happy yesterday.
Stop. Segue.
Time. A lot of people, not necessarily me. I mean, look,
that's
not
people.
A lot of people. I could care less about a pixel, but
Me too. Google wrapped up its annual I/O event, dropping some new devices, AI integrations with G Suite, and a big change to search. One of the standout announcements in the introduction of the AI-powered Snapshots to Google search. Essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to search, and then you'll have all of your organic search results below a little snapshot at the top of the search results that'll have a little bit more human language. It'll refine the information to give you the ability to go, hey, you might want to follow up that question with XYZ. This is actually really just an advancement in some of the things that they've done with featured snippets, drawing it up into an AI language model that'll allow you to kind of like take the next step. The other interesting thing is they're bringing in all of these integrations into G Suite. So things like all of your like docs and sheets and anything like that will have your
emails, do your things.
In your emails will be right in there. So there's a lot of like, highs and lows, people that love the idea, hate the idea. Basically all of the features are powered on Google's updated large language model called Palm 2, which is really funny. We were just talking about Palm
yesterday. Different Palm. I thought of the same
totally
exact
different
thing.
Palm. So it'll bring out improvements in reasoning, coding, and translation, which if you're Google, makes a lot of sense because they are in so many languages across so many countries. I can't imagine building a language model for that many nations and languages. It's unbelievable what they're able to accomplish.
The biggest impact is for sure going to be the search experience once they roll it out broad scale, which I haven't checked today. I don't know if it is rolled out, but it's pretty much done and ready to go if it's not already live. I'm just thinking about like in the screenshot that they showed, it's like somebody searched something and there was a paragraph, and a pretty long paragraph, it took up like, 3/4 of the screen. Well, it took up 3/4 of the screen. And the only other thing you could see on the screen was the first sponsored result. On the whole fold of the page, the whole fold on a desktop.
On a desktop too. On mobile, that's just all the way out. That's gone. Yeah.
And so like this is going to just obviously change the ad model, right? I mean, Google's always intention is get you to the information. I wonder if there's going to be like cited sources at some point in the AI language model. Like, hey, here are the three most relevant sites we think, right? And go to 1, 2, 3 right at the bottom of the paragraph instead of, I don't know, but it's changing everything. Even from organic, you try to build a site that ranks high. And if when you search something, Google's going to be like, here's our opinion, or here's the language model's opinion on what you're looking for. It just iterates the fact that relying on your website just to get to the top of the results. It's like, that's not the game anymore. It's important, but it's not the game. Like all of the other marketing channels, all the other community building channels is going to be really why people get to your site.
That's exactly it.
That's all I could think about.
Yep. So just like some anecdotal stuff in today, I can't remember if it was China or Japan. The first arrest was made for an incorrect news article that was written entirely by GPT.
Did you say the first arrest?
Yeah. Full on arrest because it was like a big news article that got shared everywhere. Now that's in a country that I get it, but like, so
no, but still,
there, right? But still,
do you know what was the subject of the article?
I don't know. I was literally, this is super anecdotal. I was running this morning, saw it on the TV. The second thing is, if you know who George Jones is, and maybe I've
been waiting for this.
If you know who George Jones is, go find his LinkedIn profile. His most recent post this morning was the most beautiful, exquisite jump cut of the IO event yesterday. It jumped to like 83 times where AI was said. And it's like introducing Google's new AI. It's amazing. It is.
Did
hilarious.
He make this?
Like, yeah, no, I don't know if it was him or someone else, but like it got jump cut and it's like it's unbelievable.
I'm just reading the copy. It's hilarious. Attention dealers, in case you missed it, here's a summary of the keynote from this year's Google I/O, and it's just going to be this cat saying AI 180
It's
times.
just AI over and over and over. It's wild. Like the trends that we follow in any industry, it's just that is the closest and nearest thing. There are so many more things that Google could and I think should be talking about. And even as dealers, don't fall in the ditch, right? Whether it, like we fell in the digital retailing ditch, we're falling in the AI ditch, we fall in the EV ditch. Don't fall in the ditch today. Your people are still extremely important. You're doing on-ground work that is important to your business. Forget the keywords today. Care for people, care for consumers, and that, I promise, will keep you in business a long time from now. Let's go.
That's it, man. Mic drop.